Well, that's Nim and Annie Curtis in their younger days. And this was probably before they went to Teton Valley. Who does it say is in the picture?
A young Nahum and Annie with Ray and Susie, about 1888 or 89.
So they went to Driggs in 89, so I think this picture was taken. They came from Newton, Utah. They were with the three Curtis brothers and four other families. Then they had joined a commune in Newton, Utah. And I didn't know that.
What's a commune?
They just get together and 20 families and say, well, you be the dairyman and you milk the cows and you farm and you be the blacksmith. And they all just lived it together until it got where it didn't work anymore. And I guess. And so they decided heard that the homesteading had opened up there in Victor. So that's when somebody had gone up the year before, and so that's when they all went up there.
So Nahum actually homesteaded 160 in Victor? Or?
Yeah. That's where the old barn is, and they all seven of them, homesteaded 160 acres, and they were called the String. And the canal up there now is called the String Canal. Well, there was a fellow up there named Stringfellow, and people of Victor said, well, I thought that's where it got its name. And when I published these books that were written, I says, no, that was named by the pioneers that went in there. They called themselves up on the String. We live on the String. We're the second people. They had a home a quarter of a mile apart in those days. And then here they are with their whole family. Does it say there who they are in order?
Nahum and Ann Curtis. Back row left is Mabel, Susie, Ray, Lucy. Front row is Clyde, Nahum, Vida, Annie, and Byron. Vida.
This is old Grandpa Byron. He was a good-looking mischief guy.
Yeah.
Here's Grandpa and Grandma Nahum and Annie Curtis. I have both their walking canes. I have Annie's wedding rings. They're made out of gold. I guess they're about ready to be passed down to the next generation. Nahum was the second bishop in the Victor Ward, and he was there for 13 years. They tell a story that I always thought was cute, that Dad would tell it because he was just a small boy, and they'd pay tithing in goods. They didn't have any money. And that's what was so great. When the train came to Victor, they could sell cream, and they had a few dollars coming in so they could buy some things. Otherwise, they would just barter or trade. We'll bring in a dozen eggs if you'll give us a pound of cheese or something. A lot of people made butter and sold it, and people sold eggs. Grandpa tells about they would take 2 eggs and get to go to town and get them some candy. And he said there was 1.25 miles to get to town, and old rough roads and rocks, and he said we'd always stub our toe and break the eggs. We'd have them in a tin can. So Vernon and him, that's his cousin, they decided they would fix that. They wouldn't break them eggs. They decided they would hard boil them. So they did that, and they took them into the store and get their candy. A week later, they went in there, and Mr. Lawrenson, I believe, he said, the Curtis boys. I've been waiting for you guys. Yeah? He said, yeah, I have quite a few customers that are complaining buying these eggs, and they're already boiled. So, boys, there will be no more trading eggs for candy anymore with you Curtis boys. Get out of here.
Oh gosh, that's a great story.
You can't fault them for their thought process.
You're kind of brilliant.
My dad used to tell they'd get together as young boys because there's quite a group of them, and they would. Every boy had a dog, and all you do to make a dog fight, you take both dogs and hold them so they don't bite you, and you bring them together and you rub their noses together like this, so they rub noses, and then you just turn loose of them and get back, and them dogs just go to fighting and fighting, and it was a lot of fun for the boys to see who had the best fighting dog. And then they would catch the old red roosters and go over to the neighbors and have rooster fights. And, you know, they bring the rooster over, and that's cute. I know that's against the law now, but they would flop and peck at each other. And that was a big, big tradition in Mexico. They had lots of chicken fights.